First time. Hey y'all, this is the first time I have ever had jury duty. So I need to get some rest so I can get up and I am out of the house on time for jury duty. So what's going on? How y'all doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a really informal video. I have been doing quite a few just some extra nuggets and some extra value. And I wanted to share something that hit my heart today. And as the title says for this broadcast, is stop hiding the truth. Like just completely stop hiding the truth. So what do I mean by that? Recently, very recently, I decided, as you guys know, that I've been building my coaching business now for what almost 7 years, and I walked away from work 10 years ago when I was pregnant with my daughter. That's when I walked away from a traditional work setting, y'all. It's been 10 years. And I decided recently, within the past 2 weeks, that I was going to go ahead and go back into the traditional workforce. I know, right? Still have Christian Founders Academy. Y'all, that's a purpose-driven business. That is God's thing. That's not stopping. But I decided to go back into the traditional workforce. And what I did was over on LinkedIn, I was sharing more of this process and more of, what I was doing and how I was doing it. And a couple of weeks ago, I started by just saying, you know, my babies are getting bigger. It's later in life. I can actually get back into the traditional work setting. So I'm doing it. And I had all these great comments of encouragement and all those things. So I shared that like 2 weeks ago. But this is one of the things that I noticed, especially when you are an entrepreneur. And a good friend of mine, shout out to you, April Pullen, she put a post up a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about how don't be so hard on your friends and your family who start multiple businesses, and y'all know who y'all are if y'all hard on them, because you never know what people are learning in each one of those businesses, in each one of those stages, in each one of those phases, all those things. And one of the things that came really in handy when I got back into this job hunt over the last couple of weeks was the fact that in one of the companies, direct sales companies I worked for, we built a book of business in 2 years that was equivalent to $250,000 in sales. Y'all, that was huge. If you out there working in direct sales and you've never looked at how much business you generated for the company you're working for, do it, because it is huge. Okay. So that was one of the things that we looked at. We started with 0 people on our sales team and we grew that thing. Now, this is what's amazing. A lot of people would be afraid to tell you that they're going back into the workforce because y'all know how y'all are. Y'all can be harsh and judgmental, hurting people's feelings and things like that. But I shared the details. I shared the truth. I talked about, listen, when you go back into the workforce, mamas, if you've been away for a while, I was intimidated a little bit. I was excited, a little scared at the same time. I was kind of scared sighted, right? And what ended up happening was I learned some things. For example, I learned how valuable the time away from traditional work had been for me. You guys, even though I stepped away from traditional work for 10 years, I never stopped working. We were building direct sales teams and launching my coaching company. And I'm so grateful. Our coaching company, I'm not going to tell you the revenue, but we did pretty well last year. But this was the thing, in a year that started out really, really rough, really rough. That's why I'm grateful. And so what happened was I shared what I learned about the process. One, look at your direct sales. If you are in direct sales, network marketing, MLM, I cannot tell you how valuable those skill sets that you're getting are. I can't even tell. They are so insanely valuable. Actually, I can tell you. Let me know if you need some help with that. Because when you figure out how to translate that to a traditional employer, the value that you bring to them is just exceptional. Then, of course, over these last several years, I went back and got certified for coaching. So I'm a better leader than I was when I was in the traditional workforce. So I started sharing some of this stuff and how the process went. And I had somebody reach out to me and send me a direct message and say, thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing how you're doing this, because I am going back into the traditional workforce too, but I'm not sharing it with my clients. I don't want them to know just yet because I want to keep the few clients that I have. And I respect that. I totally honor that. And I explained to the person, I was like, you know what? My clients will know. I'm not going to keep it from them. at all. My clients will all know that this is exactly what is happening. Um, and it brings up, allow God to use you and create these beautiful stories through you, because now I get the opportunity to share something that I've never been able to share before. I get an opportunity to talk about what it looks like to work at a high level in leadership while also building this business, this purpose driven business, at the exact same time. At the exact same time. Those are two incredible skill sets, because people want to know how to do that now. People want to grow in the corporate settings that they are in, but they also want to build wealth by having that side hustle, learning how to get their money, all those things. And so when you hide your truth because you think it has to look a certain way, you think you have to be really impressive for people, you're scared to let them know that you had to make a transition. Let me tell you something. I'm going to do whatever is best for my family. And some days my husband needs to get a little bit more rest. Okay. Some days it's just like that. And he needs to get rest because we are in a faith building season while God continues to heal his body. And that means on those days when he wants to get more rest, I want him to get rest, and I don't want him to have to worry about any expenses. I don't want to have to worry about any bills. I don't want him worrying about any of that stuff. I just want him to be able to rest his body while he continues to get 100% well. Right. And so I'm going to do whatever is necessary that God puts in my heart to do for my family. So guess what? Your girl is going back into the work setting. And I'm pretty pumped up and very excited about it, because it is like literally my dream company, my dream company. Okay. And I'm going to do that while continuing to be a Christian women's business coach. Y'all, I literally have one of the best lives on the planet. I couldn't ask for anything different. And so I want to encourage you to not hide your truth. Share it. There's baggage and weight that comes when you're trying to look a certain way for people, like a whole lot of baggage. And you can be free. But not only that, you never know who you can actually help when you tell the truth and when you share your real story. So if you are struggling with that, if that's something that's a challenge for you, this is what I want you to do. I want you to let me help you. You guys, I am still a coach. I will always be a coach. Now I get to help people do it a couple of different ways. I get to help people in a corporate setting, and I still get to help the magnificent clients that I work with. And so if you need help learning how to share your truth, learning how to package yourself up, learning how to do those things, I want you to reach out to me and book a complimentary strategy call, 15 minutes. And you can do that by going to call.damitamcghee.com. That's it. If you want to launch a business, if you're trying to figure out how do I get this side hustle going while I'm still working, if you want to know how can I get some consistent paying clients while I'm working so I can build wealth at the same time, if you want to know how to align that business and that side hustle with biblical principles, none of that is changing. If you are ready to start, if you are ready to grow your business, your side hustle, your service, I am still here for all those things. And so as we get started for the next leg of this journey, the next chapter, make sure you book your complimentary strategy session. Once again, it is call.damitamcghee.com. That's how you can book it. And so as we go into this very next leg of this marathon that we call life, I'm excited to see how God uses my story, uses our faith, uses our journey so we can continue to bless you in the process. So that's all. I just want to get on here and encourage y'all. Your truth is enough. You don't have to change it. You don't have to worry about anybody who judges it. You don't have to worry about none of that. Your truth is enough. There are people out there that God literally ordained for you to serve. Even if it's in a simple way of just sharing your truth with the world, they see it and you plant a seed for them to go be courageous, whatever it is. So be encouraged. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I will see you later. I appreciate you. Just hopped on here to share that. You guys have a wonderful night. I'm going to get some sleep so I can get enough rest for jury duty, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.